Welcome to FRCMedia News for Thursday, August 12th, 2021. I'm Keith Tebow. We have the latest start and end times for all Fall River Public Schools heading into the fall. Who are the other two candidates running for mayor of Fall River? And it's International Overdose Awareness Month. We look at some upcoming local events. All this and more coming up. Let's start with the latest on the COVID-19 pandemic in Fall River. Here are the latest local case and vaccination numbers as of last Thursday, August 5th. There were 120 new cases of COVID-19 in Fall River last week, up from 57 the week prior. 14,562 cases have been confirmed since the onset of the pandemic. On the vaccine front, 53% or 47,558 city residents have received at least one dose of the vaccine, with 48% or 43,028 residents fully vaccinated. An update on both cases and vaccinations is expected later today. The best way to find out where to get the vaccine in Fall River is through the city's vaccination webpage at frvax.com or by calling 833-8VAX-NOW or 833-882-9669. You can also visit the state's webpage at vaxfinder.mass.gov. You can also dial 211. Last week, New Bedford Mayor John Mitchell announced that most New Bedford city workers will be required to be vaccinated or go through regular testing. Exceptions will be made for medical reasons and those in the school department and New Bedford Port Authority. Fall River Mayor Paul Coogan says he's not looking to institute such a mandate here.
We want everyone to get vaccinated, no question about it. But before we move to that mandate level, I don't consider a hodgepodge of different policies all over Bristol County and all over the state of Massachusetts the way to go. I mean, I think we need a uniform set of standards on how we're going to proceed. It's amazing to me that it's such a split when everybody in Fall River that has a school-age child brings them in with a series of mandated vaccines. One of the people said to me one day, well, I don't know what's in the vaccine. I said, well, did you know what was in the vaccine that you gave to your kids? Because I know that I never knew what was in them. I just, take this shot. And I'm assuming that our medical professionals are giving us something that's going to make us healthier. And I believe it's the same thing with this vaccine. I mean, I hear people say, well, it's because it's experimental or it's not approved yet. So I guess the line's going to be out the door as soon as that approval comes through the end of this month or in the next few weeks. There seems like it became so polarized with the pro-vaccine people and the anti-vaccine people. It turned into something way, way off the charts. And I hope people come back to some middle ground and take care of their health first and the health of the people around them.
The first day of school in the city of Fall River is less than 3 weeks away on Wednesday, September 1st. The school committee this week approved an academic calendar as well as start and end times for each elementary, middle, and high school. The city's middle schools have the earliest start time at 7:20 a.m., with Cuss Middle School releasing students at 2:20 p.m., Talbot at 2:50 p.m., and Morton at 3:20 p.m. Doran K-8, Sylvia Elementary, and Stone School at Westall all begin classes at 7:40 a.m., with Doran and Sylvia releasing at 2:12 and the Stone School at 2:40 p.m. BMC Durfee High School will start its day at 7:55 a.m. and end at 2:55 p.m. The Laterno Elementary School will start at 8:20 a.m. and end at 3:22 p.m. A large majority of the elementary schools will begin classes at 8:50 a.m. and be released at 3:22 p.m. They include Green, Henry Lord K-8, Spencer Borden, Tansy, Viveris, and Watson. The Fonseca Elementary School will begin at 8:50 a.m. and release at 3:42 p.m., while the Medeiros Resiliency Preparatory Academy will begin classes at 8:50 a.m. and end at 3:50 p.m. UMass Dartmouth this week announced that Dr. Mark Fuller will have the interim title removed as UMass Dartmouth's chancellor. Dr. Fuller has been interim chancellor since January, following the resignation of former Chancellor Robert Johnson. Dr. Fuller has worked as dean of the UMass Dartmouth Eisenberg School of Management before arriving at UMass Dartmouth. Those who follow politics in Fall River are aware that Mayor Paul Coogan is running for a second term and will be challenged by City Council President Cliff Ponte. But there are two other candidates running for mayor in the September 21st preliminary election. Jonathan Albernaz threw his hat into the race after seeing how the government handled the COVID-19 pandemic.
The past year and a half, the response that the government has done regarding what I see to be an overreach of power, where the government has decided that all businesses have to be shut down, people are forced to wear masks to do anything, when that was completely unnecessary from my perspective, and that all the government needs to do is just provide suggestions on what they believe to be the best sort of practices for people's own health and well-being, but leave the ultimate decision down to the people, and the government failed to do that. And that is an example of government tyranny where in actuality, the people should be the ultimate deciders on what is in their own best safety and their best interests.
If elected, Albernaz is looking to hold the line on any tax or fee increases.
So those are two things that I would like to stop completely. No raising of taxation, no extra fees or penalties related to sewage or water treatment or what have you. In order to generate additional revenue, the very first step is to just reassess whether the additional revenue is legitimate. And before we even get into taxation and raising of that funds, do we already have flexibility within the budget and allocation for it? And there's rationale for that. Regarding increase in the budget, we have to assess whether the service, whatever it is that's going to be provided, is something that's necessary, and strive for consent of the people.
Albernaz is also looking to find a way to revive Fall River Celebrates America, a festival held over many summers on the city's waterfront.
A lot of people loved it. It was a fantastic event, brought in lots of tourism, lots of commerce into the city for that 5-day long event. And I would like to bring that back. I've already talked to at least one of the people that has coordinated that effort, and they explained to me why that, or at least one of the reasons why it died away, and it didn't seem legitimate for it to die off because of negotiations between artists and performers and stuff like that. So I would like to bring it back, and it can be brought back, in my opinion, without having to cost the city any money. And if anything, it could come back and generate lots of wealth for everyone in the city, because there was a lot of local businesses that benefited dramatically for that.
Also on the ballot is Michael Vandal. He's looking to expand economic development, specifically by introducing the region to the benefits of holistic dentistry.
I wanted to figure out a way to help the city, and I figured that there's an economic base that I could create. And I worked, very hard at college, and it just happens to I just found a way where I could create it, and it'd be good for everybody. But my focus would be on holistic dentistry. So I'd like to get the profits, not all of it, because it's got to be shared nationally and fair. So I'm willing to give everything for you to get. I give everything for you to get. So I speak fancy, and how I will not go against the system, I'll say, impossible dream. When you listen to that song, you can't fight your foes. So this is impossible to fight.
So what other issues does Vandal hope to address?
I like education. Education would be the top. Right now, we got a lot of things with rents. Landlords trying to get enough money to pay their bills too. So there has to be something worked out between the landlords and the tenants, because there's a big problem. With the train station coming in here, there's going to be a lot of escalation of crime. it's going to be all over the place. So that has to be addressed too. So one of the biggest problems they're going to have is the money issue. So there's going to be a big money issue. The only thing you can do is address those problems and not just give you a bunch of lines saying we'll try to address it. We just keep on trying to address it point blank.
Vandal understands he's an underdog in the race for mayor, but he remains hopeful.
Because of the shortage of money, I probably could try, just like you say on the barrels, but I got a disadvantage right now because of the money. Because for whatever reason, I was held back. You understand? So, given the circumstances, I just keep on trying like a bugger in any direction. Just like when they, in 1945, Roosevelt, when he developed all the programs, he did it by trial and error. He just tried to get the people together. In other words, have the people light up the flag, which light up the stars, and focused on their programs.
August is International Overdose Awareness Month, and Recover Fall River is organizing events to shed light and put a face to the severity of the problem within the city. Laurie Godwin of Recover Fall River says this Saturday, August 14th, the group is organizing an event where those who have died of an overdose will be on public display across the city as a sign against the negative stigma that the addicted and their families face.
We had a very generous donation from Mallard Printing, and they agreed to print yard signs of photographs that were submitted by next of kin of overdose victims from our area. So we have all those yard signs. Family members will be meeting, and people in recovery. Anyone in the community is really welcome to stand with the affected people. And we'll be meeting at City Hall around 11:30 a.m. to hand out signs. We will also be assigning people to an intersection in Fall River in groups. And the plan is for people to stand out with their signs between noon and 2 p.m.
The group will hold a resource fair, memorial display, and procession on August 31st, beginning at 4:30 p.m. at Government Center, that will focus squarely on the severity of addiction within Fall River. Godwin says addiction is an illness, and not taking it seriously is detrimental to those who are addicted and their families.
Stigma impacts people because it makes them feel shame and embarrassment, and it really inhibits their willingness to seek help. That goes for families who, the result of not seeking help for a loved one with an addiction is often financial ruin, divorce, deterioration of their own mental health, and also individuals. So a lot of times society only focuses on the behavior that occurs while someone is in active addiction, which can sometimes be pretty bothersome. But what they're failing to realize is that by shaming these people, embarrassing these people, you are kicking someone when they're down. Those people are not happy. They're in a bad place in their lives. They're not feeling good about themselves. And by behaving in a stigmatizing way and shaming people, you're really making it more difficult for them to seek the help that they need. From where I sit, I am extremely pleased at the increasing number of people who are engaging in the activities that we're arranging. And I'm also encouraged that you're now seeing a lot less stigma with mental health nationally, with athletes, celebrities. So I'm hoping that addiction follows suit with mental health, and we'll keep working on it.
We'll have more FRC Media News right after this.
Here are some job descriptions on the latest hot jobs list from the Mass Hire Fall River Career Center. Facility operator, FMC Ice Sports at Driscoll Arena, located at 272 Ellsbury Street, is in need of a full-time facility operator responsible for driving and operating the ice resurfacer and janitorial maintenance of the facility. Job number 152-68862. Warehouse Coordinator. Anderson Windows, located at 16 Current Road, is looking for a full-time warehouse coordinator responsible for handling a variety of shipping office functions, including coordinating deliveries and confirming with customers. Job number 152-99934. Medical Assistant. Primacare, located at 277 Pleasant Street, is looking for a full-time medical assistant to perform various office clinical duties and prepare patients for exams. Job number 152-86501. Blount Fine Foods, located at 630 Current Road, has an immediate need for the following full and part-time positions. Prep Associate, job number 152-92529. Safety Technician, job number 152-94597. The Fall River Public School Department, located at 417 Rock Street, also has an immediate need for the following full and part-time positions. 4th grade elementary teacher, job number 152-73373. Special education teacher, job number 152-73134. For more information on these or other positions, visit Mass Hire JobQuest at jobquest.dcs.eol.mass.gov or call the Mass Hire Fall River Career Center at 508-730-5000.
Welcome back. The Greater Fall River Art Association is holding a special event next Tuesday that will shed some light into the history of its home at 80 Belmont Street.
We have the great-great-grandson of the original owner of the building coming to give a talk about his family. His name is Bruce Black. He's bringing his lovely wife, Carol, and they're going to talk about Mr. Charles Mariner Cole and his lovely wife, Nellie. They are the original owners of the building, and come to find out, this gentleman who originally owned the building was a merchant seaman. And his job was to keep the bay open when ships would crash and splinter and everything. His job was to go out and salvage everything and make sure it was all collected and distributed where it needed to get to go. I found Mr. Black by accident when we renovated the interior of the building. I posted a picture online of some single-edge razor blades that were found inside the wall when we took the wall down, and he said, the gentleman said if you were still at 80 Belmont, they were probably my great-great-grandfathers, and we talked about it, and come to find out they were the original owners of this house. It's a beautiful home, and you can just picture the original family here. I picture the Mrs. Cole walking around, attending to this home. There was a little girl, his great-grandmother, his great-grandmother, single child. They actually had an encounter with Lizzie Borden, and he will tell that story of that too. So it's the history is here. It's also the history of a real live working person here in Fall River, real working person in Fall River, and he was just an amazing man. The gentleman, Mr. Cole, was an amazing person.
The reception and talk is open and free to the public, with the reception beginning at 6 p.m. at its headquarters at 80 Belmont Street. The event is sponsored by State Representative Carol Fiola. Fall River Country Club is working with Mayor Paul Coogan to host a one-day golf camp for kids ages 6 and 14 on Monday, August 23rd.
We had a meeting to discuss how we could get some kids that don't traditionally get the opportunity to play golf, to get them up to the golf course. And they explained to us they had plenty of golf clubs, they had balls, they had a number of pros from area courses that want to work with our kids, take them in small groups of 5 or 6 and teach them the fundamentals of a swing, some of the rules of the game, and walk with them on the course. They're going to close like 9 holes for us that day. provide all the kids with a lunch, and let them learn a little bit about the fundamentals of golf. We're going to try to work with the kids from the Boys Club, the YMCA, and some of the kids that sign up through our park programs. If we can get that done, we'll give somebody a different experience. I think it's fun when you walk on a golf course for the first time or a putting green and see how rules are supposed to be followed and what you can learn about the game. I think it'll give them some different exposure.
The half-day camp is free and lunch is included. For more information, you can contact the mayor's office at 508-324-2600. Finally, we brought you the news last week of the passing of low-priced Lenny Kaplan at the age of 91, longtime business owner, senior beauty pageant organizer, and Fall River cheerleader. Last weekend, there was a wreath-laying ceremony at the pedestrian bridge named in his honor at Heritage State Park.
My dad loved the city of Fall River. Ever since I was a little kid, it's all he ever talked about. He loved the people here, he loved his businesses here, and he loved to be a shining light for everyone. And I am so appreciative of this, Mayor Coogan. I'm so appreciative of the dedication of the bridge. It's an everlasting memory to our family, our friends, and everybody in the city of Fall River. So thank you very much.
He was the go-to guy. He was the guy that you could call if you needed something done. You know, he was the quartermaster, as he called himself, you know, from his days in the service. You needed something that no one else could get their hands on. Lenny could get it, and he could get it done. And yes, he had some pretty improbable schemes, if you think about it. The pageant itself, you know, and it just seemed improbable that he could pull that off. But even more improbable when he decided, hey, we're going to go worldwide. We're just going to, and he did it. And you know what? He did it not for camp, but for dignity, for respect, for the love of life that people could show at any age. And by doing that, he taught us all of that.
We'll wrap things up on FRC Media News right after this.
Hi, welcome to Hot Dogs and Cool Cats. Today we have Aslan. He's got a very famous name. He does. He is a brown tabby, just about a year old. He is very friendly, very outgoing. A home that already has cats, he would do great in, as long as they're the kind of cats that don't mind, you know, him occasionally chasing their tail, that sort of thing, like the playful attitude. If you do have a quiet home and you'd like to adopt him, that's okay, as long as you're able to set aside some time to give him that attention. Maybe play with a wand, throw a little mouse toy around, that sort of thing. As far as children are concerned, children of all ages should be just fine with him. He is, as I said, very, very friendly, very outgoing. All right, so if you'd like to meet Aslan, you can come down to 300 Linwood Street in Fall River, Massachusetts at Forever Paws Animal Shelter. Today we have got Sam. Sam here is still a puppy. He's just about 8 months old right now. Very energetic, a lot of puppy behavior, as you can see. He is a lot of fun, but he will be a lot of work. Being so young and being so energetic, he's probably going to get into some stuff at the home, which if you've ever had puppies before, I mean, I'm sure you understand that's kind of what they do. That's their MO. He would be okay with children. Ideally, it would be a little bit older, just because of his energy level and the fact that he's already 8 months. So he's kind of larger. So anyone under the age of 10 might be a little small, and not that he'd be mean with them, but I think that he might knock them over, that kind of stuff. So if you can put in the time and meet his needs and whatnot, all the while having some fun with him, then you'd be a great fit for him. We'd love to have you come down. Take a look at him, apply for him. So if you think you're up for it, we would love to have you come down. I'm sure that he would too. You can come on down to 300 Linwood Street in Fall River, Massachusetts at Forever Paws Animal Shelter.
That's all for this edition of FRC Media News. Please check out our website at frmedia.org for all the latest news and up-to-date information. FRC Media News airs Thursdays at 6 p.m. and Fridays at 5:30 p.m. For all of us at FRC Media News, I'm Keith Tebow. Please stay cool this weekend. We'll see you next Thursday.